Why does it have to be me? Can't we get a bigger personality? Someone like a Jeff Keighley. He definitely doesn't have any controversy going on regarding his stance on the abhorrent nature of the gaming industry.
We don't have the budget for Keighley. Also, you're live.
Good evening. In the news this year, there were games. You know the drill by now, this is my list, my opinions. There are some games I haven't played, so I'm so sorry. Forza Horizon 5, Tales of Arise, Halo Infinite, and Scarlet Nexus. You all look amazing, and I hope to play you one day, but I either don't own the console, or I don't have time for such a lengthy game at the moment. But I've no doubt they'd be on the list if I did. I've made the video a 21 games because, you know, it's 2021. I can't begin to tell you how difficult this list was to make. All these games are incredible, and I had a really hard time working out where they should go. There's such a tiny margin between all of them, but yeah, let's do this. Did you know that moles paralyze worms with a toxin in their saliva? Fun little mole fact for you. We begin this list with Mail Mole, a fun indie platformer about a mole delivering mail. This may not be the most challenging game in the world, but it has a lot of heart, and speedrunning the game's time trials is an absolute blast, thanks to its fast-paced movement system. Did you know that moles dig up to 18 feet in 1 hour? That's a lot of murder. Anyway, there are very few games where you can play as a mole, and the gameplay I had played prior I dislike. Thanks Blink from Spyro A Hero's Tale. I like that game. Blink, Anyway, this is different. Swimming through the dirt at tremendous speed is actually fairly complex to move super fast consistently, but it feels so good. Did you know that moles are not actually blind? They just have bad vision because of their fur getting in the way. Their sense of smell helps them more. Also, they squeeze earthworms with their forepaws so it eliminates the dirt in their stomach before they eat. So, what's the relevance of these facts? Moles. Did you know I've got a mole on my chest? I cannot believe I'm putting this on the list. I've had a history of playing Bratz games on my channel as a joke, and because Bratz Total Fashion Makeover released this year, naturally I had to make a video. Bratz is here on this list because holy fuck I got addicted to it. Like, I played it for a good 2 hours a day. Plus, it's a solid game to have whilst taking a shit. There's nothing massively unique about it, and I'm very aware that there's like a billion other games exactly like this, but I've surprisingly never played any of them, so I kind of just lost myself in this. Yeah, I don't really know how to move on. Returnal is a beautiful game. I love it, but I am so very bad at it. I haven't beaten it, and I probably never will, but this is Housemarque at their best, a 3D bullet hell roguelike showcasing the beauty of the PS5. It was always going to be a winner, but there's a fantastic story sprinkled throughout that I loved watching on the internet because I just can't beat it. Sorry, Housemarque. Google Doodle Champion Island Games was probably the biggest surprise of the year. No one knew Google Doodle was going to release a game for free during the Olympics, but they did, and honestly, it's not only a fun little party game with RPG elements, it's a beautiful pixel art journey. I highly recommend playing it for the ending alone. It's surprising and hilarious. Link to it in the description. Anyway, here's a doodle I made of the game in about 5 to 10 minutes. It looks just like the game! I think it's safe to say that almost everyone was blown away when Kena Bridge of Spirits was first revealed, and rightfully so. It looks as gorgeous as the best of Pixar, has elements of Pikmin and Horizon Zero Dawn, and you know what? It's awesome! There was a lot more platforming than I was expecting, but I'm delighted for it. And the combat was so intense. Ember Lab blew me away multiple times. So why isn't this higher on the list? I don't know. As I said earlier, these games are all so close. It was really hard to choose. This game has charm, it has excellent combat, and wow, it is tough at times. You will definitely get your butt handed to you on a wooden tree stump, but I just enjoyed other games more. That said, I cannot wait to see what Ember Labs do next, because this team is truly something special. Yoko Taro is a mad genius. Nier Replicant is a remake of Nier, and having not played the original Nier, but seeing what's been changed, I'm glad they did remake it. The combat has had a complete overhaul to be more like Nier Automata, which is for the best, because that game is stellar, but this sadly suffers from fatigue. If you want all 5 of the endings, you'll have to play the majority of the game 4 times, which is pretty lengthy. There are small differences each time you do it, so I understand and respect the concept. Also, this game's story is super depressing. It will keep wearing you down as you pray it stops being sad. But it works. That sadness is beautifully told, and I love the story it presents. There are some truly fascinating themes told subtly throughout the game, and it was great to finally piece together what it all meant. The gameplay, the bosses, the world, it's all perfection. The music, however, reaches another level of perfection. Is it possible to orgasm by just listening to a choir? Because I may have. I mean, listen to this! I'm sure there is so much we would like to know. What does it feel like to be a crow? To dance with the Reaper through the fog on the moors, preparing to venture through death's door. The intrigue, the tale, the struggle through snow. What can I expect to see tomorrow? Perhaps pondering on such is a fruitless bore. Instead, I'll just experience more death's door. It makes my heart race to face unstoppable foes, with only your wits, a sword, a grapple and bow. I'm buzzing with excitement to see what's in store. These are the reasons to play Death's Door. Chicory: A Colourful Tale is such a simple idea executed wonderfully. The world is a blank canvas, and you must colour it to solve platforming puzzles. That on its own would be wonderful, but there's a heart-wrenching story about mental health wrapped in this colourful world. I mean, the metaphor alone is pretty special, but like the gameplay, the story is executed perfectly. This isn't the first of its kind, and it won't be the last, but as it stands, it might be the best.
Tell me, what do you dread?
Is it Emmy? 'Cause fuck it should be Emmy. These things are terrifying. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. Oh my god, you're fast. Oh my god, you're fast. I'm fucked. Oh! You could probably cheat this and get up there early. Oh, what? What? Samus is back in a brand new 2D Metroid game, and it does a pretty damn good job. Without spoiling anything, it would have been very easy to play things safe and use the same tropes that we've sort of come to expect because it's been so long, but instead, this game creates a brand new world with extreme stakes at the end of it. Steak. I wonder what Metroid juices would be like on steak. Wait, that's just an episode of SpongeBob. I will say that there are things I dislike, particularly pertaining to the speed dash, as it's not catering to disabilities very well, but this is a bloody awesome game, and I can't wait to see what Prime 4 has in store. "14 years later, The World Ends With You is back, and what a delight this game is. I'll be honest, I hadn't really seen anything of the series prior to the month Neo came out. It's not because I didn't want to, I just never really found the time. But with Neo coming, well, it felt like the perfect time. Let me make one thing clear. This soundtrack is god tier. Every song is awesome, and the fact it's not even on the best soundtrack list at the Game Awards is an outrage. There's a lot of really cool stuff that happens in this story that I don't want to spoil, so I'm going to dance around all of that and only show early game footage, but this game exudes so much style constantly. Its battle system is super fun, and collecting pins in this game is stupidly addicting. It's the same addiction as those mobile games that tries to get you to spend money but without all the corporate greed. Also, if you're worried that you need to play the original, you don't. Sure, you'll get more out of it, but you don't need to. Just go in and have fun. It's good to have you back, Monkey Ball. I've missed my balls getting tenser as I fly off the stage for the 50th time. This is a remake of Super Monkey Ball 1, 2 and Deluxe, and it's simply a perfect remake. It takes the brilliance of those games and replicates it in the way you would hope for. I'm sure it's not totally one-to-one with the original, as that's super tough to get the physics perfect, but it's pretty damn close. On top of that, this game adds so much more in the process. If you like the jump mechanic of the Wii game, you can buy it with in-game currency and play with it. It's recreated the minigames, it's got time trials, it has options to make the game playable for people with disabilities, and it even has extra modes like one where you start at the end goal and have to make your way back to the beginning. That is genius! This game is filled with content, and none of it feels like filler. It's just more of your favourite masochistic anger-inducing fun. I hope this isn't the last we see of Super Monkey Ball, but if it is, what a perfect send-off. We're almost at the top 10, but before we get there, I would like to list a couple honourable mentions. Omori was released on December 25th last year, so I never had a chance to include it in last year's list. If I could, it would have been in the top 5 easily. It's a dark story, but wow, it's a beautiful game with incredible characters, brilliant humour, and excellent gameplay concepts. Also, it really boosted my channel in the last year, as my videos of the game were put to the top of the list when you searched for it. Thank you for all the support, everyone. Your comments really made my day, and if I'm ever feeling low, I'll be sure to look back on them, because you all said some really wonderful things, and it meant a lot at a time I was doubting my abilities. I will be doing a Hikikomori route playthrough, starting on December 25th, to coincide with its 1-year anniversary. I hope you look forward to it, I know I am. The Kingdom Hearts games released on PC, and thanks to the community, we've seen so many wonderful mods, from randomizers to custom music in Melody of Memory, to mod menus that do all sorts of things. It's crazy to see how much has happened in the past 9 months, and I'm so grateful to everyone who's worked so hard to make this series better. You don't get nearly enough appreciation and respect, but you certainly have mine. Thank you so much. A Hat in Time Vanessa's Curse is an awesome game of tag within A Hat in Time, as the first paid creator DLC, and wow, this is one of the most intense PvP modes of any game I've ever played. Because of how quick the moveset is within the game, you're always going to be running fast, and you will not get a breather, unless a mistake is made. If you like being on the edge of your seat and jump scared constantly by a tiny girl with a hat and an umbrella, then this is the perfect update for you. Where are they? Ah! Christ! Is there an exit? I don't know. Ah! I was so screwed. The crown has been taken. Oh, that was scary. No! That was genius. Holy shit. Oh my god! Among Us had a couple updates this year, including the airship map and some roles, and yeah, it's fantastic. Among Us is still just as fun to play now as it was back when everyone discovered it last year, but now there's a couple more strategies people can implement due to the roles system. I personally can't wait to see how friendships get tested later down the line.
Booty, rock.
Oh no! He must have seen that.
And Jack, or someone shapeshifted as Jack just killed Emil right in front of me.
Teal, did you just try and kill me?
No.
Oh my god!
It's over. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate got its final set of DLC characters. What a journey it's been. Maybe not everyone got what they wanted, but it's been awesome to see the hype from the communities, so thank you so much to everyone who worked on this game. Please rest, Sakurai! And finally, Shin Megami Tensei 5. I like it a lot, but I haven't played much of it, like a quarter at absolute most. It's the kind of game you have to be in the right mindset to play, and with so much going on for me at the moment, I'm not in that mindset. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the game does though. People have been hyped for years for this game, and rightfully so. It is awesome. But that is the honourable mentions done. Let's move on to the top 10. Psychonauts 2, like the first Psychonauts, is pretty special. The creativity on display makes this one of the best 3D platformers in recent memory, as you're never really sure what to expect. I could go in depth about each individual level for why it's brilliant in its design and its storytelling and its foreshadowing, but to do so would be spoiling a lot. I really want to talk about a couple of little moments the game creates that I've not seen anyone else talk about, but it's just such a big spoiler. Maybe I'll make a dedicated video in the future, just trust me when I say that there's never a dull moment. WarioWare Get It Together is one of the best party games ever made. To say this game is packed with content is a tremendous understatement. Each of the WarioWare titles have over 200 microgames, with increasing difficulty, speed, intensity, and reduced time limit as it goes on. But this is different. The gimmick here is every minigame you switch between characters. It can be a team of 3 or all of them, and there are 20 characters each with totally different playstyles. Wario flies, but charges at things. Mona is constantly moving on a bike and uses a boomerang. Pat and Anna are constantly jumping really high, with one only throwing their shuriken left and the other right, etc, etc. You get the idea. This means all of these minigames have been designed so intricately that every version of them can be played with every character. And then they had to make sure there are different variations of it for 2 players. And yes, it will mix and match characters. This isn't 200 microgames. This is 200 times 20 times 2, which is 8,000, plus variations of these on top of that. That's actually ridiculous. But that's just the microgames. There's also a story mode, collectibles, achievements, online modes, multiple single player and multiplayer optional modes too. This is absolutely filled to the brim with things to do, and it all feels so fun to play, and it's so wonderfully weird as you'd expect. Oh, God, I love this game.
It's always your fault. It's never mine, Josephine.
How dare you, Carl? What is your fucking deal? No one would mistake my game as being part of your shitty publishing company. And even if they did, in this incredible scenario, surely you would be glad to have It Takes Two associated with Take-Two Interactive, you fucking bellend.
My friend Bob Kotick will back me up.
Oh, just absolutely go fuck yourselves.
Sorry, that's just my little jab at the gaming industry as of late. Don't be a fucking abuser. It's not fucking hard. Anyway, It Takes Two is a mind-blowingly great platformer. The design utilises co-op gameplay in the absolute best way, and I'm so surprised and impressed by how fun and wacky and unique all the levels and challenges are. But it truly is a co-op experience. It's not co-op just because it can be, it simply wouldn't work alone. You work as a team, and the story is expertly crafted because of it. So why is this not higher? Honestly, I've not finished it. My friends and I really want to finish it soon, but lots of things have stopped us from being able to, so this might be higher at a later date, but for now, all I can say is this is a fantastic game that I've heard only gets better and better, so thank you for making this experience. I truly love it. Pokemon BDSM is such a treat. Come on, Infernape! Harder! Yes! Huh? What? Oh, BDSP! So this is the Diamond and Pearl remake. Not everyone is a fan of the chibi art style, but I love it. I love this game. Diamond and Pearl were fantastic games, and this, remakes them. Do I wish they brought in some features from Platinum? Of course. But it just felt so good to play these again. Pokemon taps into that part of my brain that makes me feel like a kid again. And then the champion wiped it out because this game does not mess around at the end. I love the underground, I love the contests, I love that you can do both online, and it's such a nice appetizer for the main course. Pokemon Legends Arceus, where you can literally fucking die. Well, it certainly looks like you will. You get slashed up by this thing. I mean, what the hell? Of course you're dead. Say what you want about the previous Life is Strange games, Life is Strange True Colors is a phenomenal game. When the game was previewed at E3, I was delighted by the step up in art style and certainly intrigued with the concept of absorbing and taking empathy to a whole new level. But then I played the game. Within Life is Strange True Colors, there's an arcade machine with a game called Minehaunt, and it is the best thing I've ever played. Alright, I'm joking, though it is fun, not gonna lie. Life is Strange is hard to talk about without spoiling anything, even within the first chapter, so you'll just have to take my word on it. There's an intriguing mystery going on throughout, which I can't really talk about, but similarly to other story-driven games where your decisions have an impact, you really feel it in this game. I think the least spoilery thing I can think of is a woman called Eleanor who has early onset dementia. As someone who's been deeply affected by it with my nan, this was incredibly hard-hitting, but the game handles it incredibly well. Here's the thing though, you can choose whether or not to tell her a piece of news, and depending on if you do or don't, she won't tell her granddaughter that she's got dementia. This drastically affects things, and they're not even one of the main characters. Also, there is incredible LGBTQ+ representation. This made me so fucking giddy. I know it's plugging my playthrough with my friend Lewis, but anytime it happens, you'll hear happy squeals from us. It's amazing. God damn, I love this game. Genuinely, these moments are some of the most feel-good I've ever experienced in games, and I have to give the writers and actors so much credit for that. There's also a mode to turn off copyrighted music, and it's replaced with their own custom music, which is really nice. Apart from in certain scenes like this. This scene is so awkward without any music. Oh.
Lifetime of practice.
What is this? It's been far too long since we got a brand new Ratchet & Clank game, and oh my gosh, I love it! Utilising the power of the PS5, this game doesn't mess around. Massive in scope, exciting new planets, each extremely, exquisitely detailed. There's haptic controls, which I will always gush about because they're simply incredible and makes it so much more of an immersive experience, especially when combined with the awesome weapons this game has. The haptics make weapons that look or act similar feel totally different, which is wonderful. They certainly try a bunch of fun concepts with the worlds, one of which has a couple of horror elements, and another is just a massive land full of fun platforming, and oh, right, yeah, no, this game has a lot of platforming. The most in the series since the early PS2 days, and it's a welcome treat. The most impressive thing for me is the loading, and I don't mean how quick it is from level to level. I mean within the level itself. There are rifts and tethers that pull you through the world, and it's just insane. This blew my mind the first time I saw it, and it still does. It looks, feels, and is amazing. I would definitely be up for seeing more of this in the future. But then, finally, there's Rivet. Rivet is fucking perfect. She must be protected at all costs. That's it, that's the post. It's so nice to have her from Toby Fox. I don't think anyone was expecting them to shadow drop, but man, I absolutely love everything it does. Especially the game was released for free, thank you, that is amazing, at 1 AM in the UK, so I stayed up until 7 AM until it was finished. If you haven't played Deltarune, it's absolutely worth it. It blew me away. Ponder where the story is going, especially since we're only at the beginning of the game. Made me laugh, made me just wow. What a fantastic experience Deltarune Chapter 2 is. Toby Fox, Temmie, and the rest of the team really delivers a perfect experience every single time, and I can't believe we actually got. For some, this will be their number one, and understandably so. I love this game, but I enjoyed a couple other games a little bit more. Trust me though, when the full version of Deltarune is out, it's going to be very hard to top that. That's almost certainly my number one that year. Oh, and incidentally, the words that Big Shot censored were, "New game, Deltarune, Chapter 2, music, naturally made me cry." And Big Shot. Can you believe it? The guy who's doing a series playing through every party game ever made because he's crazy loves the newest Mario Party? Who could have guessed? What a surprise! Mario Party Superstars is 5 classic boards from the N64 era, remade, and I absolutely love it. But best of all, it has a fully fledged online mode featuring the boards themselves and not just 10 minigames, so I can play with all my friends, or even you guys! This is something I've wanted for a long time. Playing Mario Party makes me happy, even when things aren't going my way, so if you give me more of it, it's going to rank highly. Okay, plug time. As I mentioned, I've got a series called Party Hard where my friend Emil and I are playing through every party game ever made. This series features the well-known, the bizarre, and the obscure. I guarantee if you've not been following the series, there is a lot of party games you have no idea existed, and honestly, most people in the universe have never seen it before. There's currently over 360 videos, so that is a lot to watch, but if you want a shorter breakdown of the journey, I've released a video called "We Played 75 Party Games During Lockdown." It's a 1 hour 20 minute heavily edited scripted video and I think it's pretty great. I'd appreciate you giving it a watch, link in the description. Or if you want to see highlights of the series, I have those too in the best of playlist on my channel. Yay! Self-promotion! Mario Party rules! As you can probably tell by me gushing over it for the past 5 years, I love Persona 5, so of course I was going to love Persona 5 Strikers. This is a proper sequel, but instead of turn-based combat, you have Musou gameplay. Honestly, this gameplay works really well with Persona. There's an incredible amount of depth on display that sends my fanboy brain into overdrive. You get to play as the entire cast, easily switching with the D-pad. Each character feels so drastically different, so you can switch and get a feel for a few that you prefer to play as and have those on your party. That's great in itself, but every persona also has their own moves, abilities, strengths, and weaknesses, so you can blossom your team and your personas to do some devastating damage. But don't think it'll be an easy ride. This game doesn't mess around, especially in merciless difficulty. I got obliterated in the tutorial for it, so yeah, probably won't be finishing that playthrough. If you want to see what happens to the cast of Persona 5 after the game ends, then this game is that, and it's just as intense and wholesome throughout, as you've come to expect. It's hard to compare because the music of the original was just so good, but wow, the soundtrack is phenomenal. Epic remixes of past songs and the new themes and vocals are just on a different level. I absolutely adore this game, and honestly, just talking about it now makes me want to play it again. If that's not a sign of a good game, I don't know what is. Oh, Balan Wonderworld. I should clarify ahead of time that these are my joke number ones, just in case someone thought I was being serious. But I will say I think I like this game more than others. It certainly has flaws, and my biggest gripe is the seizure final boss that genuinely hurt my head. I think they fixed that now, but god, it was bad. But honestly, this game had a lot of really interesting concepts in its level design, especially as the game went on. They really needed more time to polish ideas and create some more variety in its minigames to make it shine, because I think this could have turned out pretty alright. It's a shame that it didn't, but let me tell you what won't turn out alright. The Grand Theft Auto trilogy. Oh boy, this absolute dumpster fire of a remaster officially has the second lowest user score on Metacritic with 0.5 out of 100. The only thing lower is Madden NFL 21 on PS4 at 0.2. Impressive for sure. But you know what else bombed hard this year? The Nintendo Switch Online expansion! The cynic in me thinks that YouTube only disabled viewing dislikes because that trailer is the most disliked video of all time, as the ratio had over 186,000 dislikes next to its 1.48 million views and only 18,000 likes. I mean, it's impressive. That is, by the way, as of November 22nd, when dislikes were disabled, so fun times. You know what else is impressive? Mega Monster Party. I do not mind Mario Party clones. In fact, I think they can be great fun, but there's got to be a point when the line is crossed, because every single one of these minigames is identical to Mario Party. Genuinely, I unironically love this game. It's actually pretty well made, fun to play, and it is just so funny to me that it exists. I have genuinely thought about this game every single day since I played it. This is now officially the biggest meme of Party Hard, and nothing will tarnish that. I love this game. But, oh boy. Anyway, we've been putting off the real number one for long enough, so let's go. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Wow. Where do I begin? I guess some backstory. I never had a chance to play the game last year, but my good friend David bought it for me on my birthday, so I played through the game early this year. This is the first game in a very long time that I played just for me. No recording or streaming commitments, just play it in my own time to enjoy. Of course, I played it non-stop because I fell in love with everything. I haven't played a huge amount of the original Final Fantasy VII, maybe just under half of the game. I enjoyed what I was playing, but I just couldn't get absorbed into the world at the time as much as I did here. Maybe I would now if I went back to it. But then, Square Enix announced Intergrade, a PS5 upgrade with updated graphics and an extra couple of chapters with Yuffie, and oh boy, I would love to go into how fucking great that is in more detail, but spoilers, I'm not gonna spoil anything, don't you worry. This is only part one of a much larger story, but whereas Midgar in the original game takes around 4 to 6 hours, this will easily take 30, and it's completely justified. Shinra and the events of the war between them and Avalanche really affect the city and its people. In the original game they show it, but it doesn't have the same effect because it's a PS1 title trying to fit a very large game on it. This is a PS4 or PS5 title with time to breathe and let you appreciate the little things. And also, appreciate the impact. I'm going into very minor spoilers for the first hour of the game. The reactor blows up and as you'd expect, this shatters Midgar. People are dead, people are mourning, kids are homeless and parentless. This game isn't afraid to show you that, and it hit me hard. This isn't the only instance of the game being brave either. It is phenomenal, but that would be spoilers, I won't say anything. So you can probably tell because you've been seeing the footage, but this game is gorgeous. It looks amazing on the PS4 too. They really utilize every single bit of the PS4's power, but Intergrade honestly surprised me with its loading. On PS4 it pretty much only has loading screens at the beginning of each chapter, which can take up to 2 minutes. There are a couple others sprinkled throughout the game, but typically that's how it goes. On the PS5 it's 2 seconds. That's just insane that it's able to load so much that fast. I love what this generation is doing to the industry, and I can't wait to see it be pushed even further. But back to gushing. Oh, the music! They took a song, remixed it to high heaven to be the best it could possibly be, and it is masterful. I have sunk into my bed listening to this music, and then an intense battle theme shuffles on, and it has abruptly woken me up, because wow, it goes hard at times. Intergrade just adds to the soundtrack, the story, everything. Yuffie's set during the middle of Cloud's story, and I love how it all lines up, and oh boy, it is intense, and Yuffie feels phenomenal to play. There's some really cool mechanics going on. But I guess I should talk about the gameplay at some point, and that time will be now, I guess. It is an absolute joy to play as each character. They all feel totally different, learn very varied moves, and that's great, but what I think I'm most impressed with is the ATB meter. The more damage you deal with your standard attack, the more it fills up, and that allows you to do a magic attack, or special move, or use an item, or what have you. They turned a turn-based game into an action combat game with a turn-based element built in, and that is genius! It's literally the best of both worlds in such a unique way. I'm genuinely, it blew me away when I discovered that. I'm so impressed with how they've managed to transform the world and its people, the enemies, and everything else into this exciting 3D space. This is just something special. It's an honor to play, and I'm so excited for the future. I don't want to play the original anymore. I want to experience the story with these developers, these actors, these wonderfully talented people who have made this one of my favourite games of all time. And with that, I think it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd very much appreciate it if you left a like, subscribe, share the video around. I also have a Twitch, a Twitter, and a Patreon if you'd like to support me and the channel. Tell me, what have been your favourite games of the year? I would love to know. As there's been so many amazing games. It could be something that's not on this list, it could be something on this list. I'd love to know, and I'd love to know why. Yeah, so I mentioned I have a Patreon. Yeah, there's a bunch of different tiers, but I sort of had in the intro a little teaser. I'm adding a podcast to the $10 tiers and above, basically a monthly podcast starting in 2022. So if you want to hear some podcasts, then yeah, there you go, that's that. And also there are the playthrough votes, so basically you all get to choose a game for me to play. So say for the sake of argument, there are 10 people on the Patreon. All 10 of you pick a game, and then all of you get to vote on those 10 games, but you cannot choose the game you originally picked, so it's totally fair, and yeah, I never know what I'm going to end up playing, but yeah, the Patreon vote is exclusive to Patreon, but the playthrough is here on YouTube for everyone, so yeah, if you want to be involved in picking a game for me, by all means, please check out the Patreon. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's always a blast to make, but thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the year, a wonderful Christmas, and a perfect 2022. Take care. Bye-bye.